Like my review for Drawing Flies, I'm not going to talk too long about this because I'm doing a Kevin Smith marathon, but he didn't direct this film. He only produced it like he produced Drawing Flies. That's another film that he was able, with his deal with Miramax or whatever, to finance micro-budget movies for his friends to direct. This was Bryan Johnson, who was a good friend of Kevin Smith and sort of based Bryan Johnson for when he wrote the character Randall in Clerks. And Bryan Johnson went on to direct Vulgar, which is an appropriate title for the film. And I like the DVD because it has a documentary for Dogma. Just because Dogma was released by Lionsgate, same with this film, and they weren't able to put the documentary on the Dogma DVD, so hey, let's put it on this. And it also has a commentary, which Kevin Smith is on, and the star, Brian O'Halloran, is on, who also starred in Clerks as Dante. Jason Mewes has a role in this. Ethan Suplee has a supporting role in this. Kevin Smith, Scott Mosier produced it. And this is a film that, I mean, these reviews, an ugly, revolting movie. Vulgar is truly and thankfully one of a kind. Honestly, I think this is a better film than when Kevin Smith did Red State. Really. I think what it is, it's an exploitation film. And Brian O'Halloran, I think, does a good job acting-wise. Bryan Johnson, not only does he direct it, he's also acting in it as a friend of the Brian O'Halloran's character. Brian O'Halloran, again, the star of Clerks, he plays a guy who his job is to be a clown at kids' birthday parties. And he's not getting much work. In fact, he goes to a place, and the kid's birthday party, he can't really do it because the father is being arrested for spousal abuse on the mom, and the cops taking him away. And she's, oh, I'm sorry, let me get you your money since you came out here. And Brown Howard's like, no, that's okay. Maybe next year. So he's a good guy, and he's got to figure out how to make some money. He has a mom who's in a retirement home who's just a complete bitch to him, and his neighbors are assholes to him, and he doesn't know what to do. And he's like, what can I do? So he looks at a newspaper and goes, hey, why don't I be like a joke clown for bachelor parties? Like, I come in, and the guy getting married thinks it's a hot woman, then it's me, but then they'll bring in the hot woman later, and I'd be like a sort of a joke thing. It's like, oh, whatever, then move on. But unfortunately, his first client are these three guys who fuck with him and ultimately rape him. I will say, though, that it's hard to watch because of the idea, not because of what you see on screen. Because if you want the on-screen that's horrible, a Serbian film is horrible and a shitty movie. I Spit on Your Grave. This isn't like that. This is done really enough the right way because it's all about intent, not about showing, where it's these three guys who you really, really hate. Ethan Suplee, and it's like I forget if it's the father and his two buddies or two kids, or I forget what it is. But they're like trying to make him, say that you like to suck cock, say that you like this and that, and, make him drink stuff, and, I'm going to make hate to you. Which I've never heard that line before, but it's like, instead of make love to you, I'm going to make hate to you. And they're like, oh, I want to play with him first. And They get him on the bed, get him face down, and you get the intention where like the up close to the guy's face, up close to Brian Halloran screaming, and then for like 4 seconds, then it cuts to what's in Brian Halloran's head, like this dream scene where he's on a beach and he's playing at a kid's party, but then there's blood or something, and then it cuts to Brian Halloran knocked out, and then the three leave. And that's what I mean by it's the intention is nasty like it's supposed to be, because rape is nasty, it's horrible. But at the same time, it's not. Maybe it was easier for me to handle because it wasn't I spit on your grave. It wasn't, over the top. Here's his ass. Here's that stuff. It's like you got the intention behind it. Or maybe because how many films are out there where the guy gets raped? Usually it's a girl. And I guess as a guy, you feel more sorry for a woman because I don't know if it's a sexist thing, but we think of a woman as someone we want to protect more than a guy. I don't know how to put it. But I thought it was done, honestly, tastefully enough to show the intention and just, you hate these people and it's not, I don't think it was in your face. I think even the commentary, Kevin Smith or someone mentions how the idea behind the film is ugly, and people look at the film as ugly, but it's the intention behind it. And I thought Bryan Halloran, afterward, he goes home, and Bryan Johnson after Bryan Halloran like wrecks his place, like punches a mirror, cuts his hand with a piece of glass, and then his friend Bryan Johnson, he finds out, oh, we gotta tell people, we gotta get these guys, and you may have a disease, and Bryan Halloran says no, no, and then he finally breaks down. I don't want anyone to know. And I thought Bryan Halloran did a great job. As a guy that I had only seen in Clerks by the time I saw this, I'm like, this guy's a good actor. And he's pretty much figured out what he's supposed to do with his life. He doesn't really want to do birthday parties. He's just a little bit out of it. And then ultimately he gets a call and he says, no, no, I don't want to do it. Then the kid gets on the phone and is like, oh, okay, fine, I'll do it. But when he gets there, I believe it's the same guy we saw earlier who had hit his wife, who's now got his kid hostage. And Bryan Halloran comes around and hits the guy through a door and gets the guy arrested and gets on the news. And people, oh, he's a hero, he saved the kid, and he's on this talk show, very cheap-looking talk show, hosted by Scott Mosier. And yeah, it's definitely a cheap-looking movie. I mean, the set looks like the paint's still not even dry yet on the walls. But that leads to you have Kevin Smith in the film as a producer of a TV show. He's like, hey, let's get you a deal with, be on TV. People talk about you now, the hero clown. And ultimately, Bryan Halloran gets a TV show, and he gets some money, and he's getting a bit famous. Even his show is making... granted, if you look at the actual show, you're like, why the hell would kids watch this show? But it's a movie. It is what it is. And what happens is, one of the videotapes, the old guy from back then, the father, who actually, you find out he's actually a guy who has like a little girl and a wife. Like he has a daughter and a wife. I'm like, this sicko has a daughter and a wife? Wow. Who doesn't know what's going on? And the daughter's a fan of this clown. And the old guy realizes who it is. And so they want to, what's that called? They want to get some money out of him. You better pay, or, oh yeah, we videotaped you that night. And there's one time where Bryan Halloran puts some money in a little suitcase and leaves it, but then gets turned around and the money's gone. Pretty much gets where Bryan Johnson confronts the three. And it's not as satisfying as it could have been, because it's not Death Wish. It's not, which would have been cool. That would have been nice. Would have been what I prefer. Because like Brown Hound tries a gun, it doesn't work, but then Ethan Suplee looks at the gun stupidly, accidentally shoots himself in the face. The second guy, he gets accidentally shot. And then Brown Hound chases the main guy, the older guy, who then dies of a heart attack. And then Bryan Johnson is like hitting his dead body and kicking him, and then he, no one finds out, no one knows what happened, because they died of, one looked like he shot himself, one looked like his, heart attack. And Bryan Howard gets to do his talk show, and the movie ends. I mean, the film is not a film I rewatch a lot. I mean, if I watched this, it would just be for the commentary. Because Kevin Smith commentaries at this time were fun, were entertaining, even if the movie isn't. Jason Mewes has a fun little role as a guy who gets guns for Bryan Johnson. These guns don't have bullets. These guns do have bullets. Oh, this guy Lamar, he keeps messing with me. Oh, here's this cat. Oh, if only you were Lamar. I forget I might have gotten the name wrong, but Jason Mewes, nice to see him in there, little role. I think Bryan Howard does a good job acting-wise. It's an ugly movie just for the intention, what it's about, as well as the stuff put in there that you're like, okay, was that necessary? For example, when in the beginning of the film, when Bryan Howard gets in his car, there's a guy sleeping in his car, broke in to sleep in his car. And Bryan Howard tells him to get out because he's got to go to a kid's party in his clown makeup. And he finds like a dirty pair of underwear and he throws out. Or after the rape scene, when Bryan Howard's on the ground. No, it's actually after that. When he gets home, he wakes up and you see that he's puked. Like, there's a little stuff of that, like, a little bit nasty. Like, was that necessary, all that stuff. It's definitely, I keep thinking, an exploitation film. And I would have preferred if there was a better comeuppance against the villains. I guess they did that because, hey, that way he's in the clear, no one knows that he did it. But I would have preferred if he really went to town on these guys and really became sort of a Death Wish kind of revenge movie. That would have been nice. But that's not what happened. I don't know, I like Bryan Howard's performance. I like seeing Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, and in their small roles. Kevin Smith is his producer who gives him this TV show. Always nice to see him doing different acting roles than what they normally do. But it's not a film that is accessible to everybody. It's not a film that, like, I could pop this in and enjoy perfectly fine. And I think this is a better movie. Definitely a movie I prefer. It's fun. It's harmless. I think it's entertaining. It has a lot of chuckles in it. This one, it's hard to watch. And on one hand, of course, that made sense because of the subject at hand. And again, I don't think this is I Spit on Your Grave. I don't think this is a Serbian film. I don't think this is Martyrs. Nowhere near that. I can still watch the film. But it's just, the title does fit with the flick. And I don't think it's as bad as the reviews make it out to be. I mean, this is a very, very hated film, and I'm like, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, fuck. I Spit on Her Grave seems like it gets more praise. I mean, a Serbian film got more praise. And that didn't deserve more praise than a film like this. I mean, this film isn't that fucking bad. It's not that fucking, oh my god, it's so revolting. I'm like, there's a lot more movies revolting than this. But it's just, this is Flappy, which is the character of the clown. Takes revenge. Kinda. That's what I mean. I think I would like to a more comeuppance, more exciting, more fulfilling ending. And maybe I could have used this a bit more props. And you know, some of the acting, supporting cast is not the strongest. But at the same time, the film is what it is, and I've seen much worse movies. I mean, it's not a movie I can say I love, or you know, I didn't watch as a time waster, but it's not a film that I like defend with a passion or anything. Like again, I would say I like this film a lot more. But you know, it is what it is, and I do think the main thing is Brown and Halloran. I think from Clerks to this gave a really good performance. By the way, thanks for watching. Take care, and see you in the next video. Later.